Hey folks, this is Mary. Welcome back to my channel. So today is May 2nd and it is Sunday, and that means it is time for Swatching Sunday. I've been having technical difficulties in recent weeks, which makes me very sad. But I'm still recording videos, and I am ever hopeful that I will be able to get them onto YouTube. I was able to get last Sunday's video uploaded, but oh my gosh, it took like 11 hours, which is just not normal. And again, I know you guys don't want to hear all about my technological struggles. I did have a technician come out and check out my connection, and he couldn't find anything wrong, so I don't know if it's like something inside the house is going bad or my equipment is going bad. I mean, my laptop is a few years old and I'm using an iPhone 6S, which is pretty old, but still 11 hours for one video. I don't know. And the 30 Inks 30 Days videos that I've done, they get stuck in a loop and they just constantly upload. It's like 1%, they'll get up to 99%, and then they'll go back down to 1%. And I just want to tear my hair out. So enough said about that. Today I wanted to swatch some Colorverse inks for you. I got these cute little mini bottles that everybody has been showcasing. They are just adorable. And also I got a bunch of these because I was thinking about doing Colorverse ink for June, but Sarah Katie just did that over on her channel, and I didn't want to duplicate what she had already done. So I'm rethinking June. We will see what happens in June. And also I have some Birmingham inks. 3 of these bottles I got last summer, and I did an unboxing video of those, but I never swatched them. I mean, they've been sitting in the box for what, like 8 months now, these poor unused inks. So today I'm going to swatch them and get them where I can see them and start thinking about them, because, you know, out of sight, out of mind. So I've got these 3 little guys, but then I have some bigger ones that I just ordered. These are the Rich formula, which I'm very excited to try. So I would like to swatch all of these for you today, and it's a bunch of inks. I think it's like 15 inks. So, you know, my Wi-Fi just loves a long video, so I am just sticking my tongue out at my Wi-Fi, and I'm gonna make a long video, so enjoy. And I'm gonna have a sip of tea. Okay, well, I say enjoy if you ever actually get to see this video, but I'm ever hopeful, ever hopeful. Okay, so moving these guys out of the way. And I thought I'd show you the box that these little ones come in. Again, Colorverse just has such thoughtful packaging on their inks. First of all, there's this cute little pipette, because the bottles are so teeny, it's hard to get almost any nib into them. But you can use this little pipette and, you know, squeeze it and get some ink out. And then of course their boxes are just adorable. They have all kinds of themed pictures in there. They're so cute. So I'm putting that aside, and in no particular order I'm going to start swatching these guys. And I'm sitting by my window, so if somebody's running their lawnmower, you know, it's Sunday. That's one thing that people do on Sundays, is mow the lawn. But I've got the window open, so everything is covered in pollen. And I've been dusting, but if you see a little dust on things, you know, please excuse me. Oh, you might want to know what this is. This is Mariner 4. Can we see that? Mariner 4. And you'll notice that most of these Colorverse inks are blue, because that's my thing. As you should know. Oh shoot, I need to write the name of this ink first. I always do that. I just get so excited to start swatching, I forget that I need to write the name down too. Let's see. Ooh, can I fit my glass nib in there? Oh, I don't think I can. Oh, I'm going to try to tilt it. I'm going to be very brave, and I'm going to tilt my nib. Ooh, look, I got some ink. Yay! Okay, so this is Colorverse. And what do we say? Mariner 4. Mariner 4. Ooh, come on, ink. Alas, I do not have any details about Mariner 4. But feel free to explore on your own. Maybe that's one thing that Colorverse should think about doing, is including a little information about where their ink names came from. Although I am quite disturbed about the animals that they have named inks after, and I won't say any more about that because it's disturbing. Alrighty. Ooh, and there is some lint in the ink, but you know, between the open window and the fuzzy Q-tips, I think that's just gonna happen. But this does seem nice and flowy. If I'm not mistaken, I think Colorverse inks are known for being flowy. Ooh, you know what? I just thought of something. I've been sticking my Q-tips in all these bottles, and the Q-tips are linty, so I'm putting lint in my bottles. Oh no. Oh well, that'll just give the mold something to grow on, right? Well, that is beautiful. Hopefully the sunlight is good for this. I mean, I hope it's, you know, strong enough to showcase our inks. Oh, and my work area is getting quite cluttered. I need to make some room for the cards. Oh, and I wanted to show you this too. You don't have to buy the inks in a 3-pack, but they do have this little 3-pack. And just when I was getting the inks out and getting ready to start swatching, this little card fell out. I never noticed this before. But these are all of their inks, and it has numbers on them. I don't know how they're numbered, but I just thought that was so cool. So yes, it's the 5 milliliter bottle and the pipette. And this shows you the different sizes, the mini, the 15 milliliter, and the 65 milliliter. And of course now they also have the 30 milliliter, which is not pictured. But I'm glad they've started doing the 30 milliliters, because 30 milliliters to me is a great size. It's plenty of ink. It's not too much. Sometimes the 50 or 60 milliliters seems like a little too much ink. But then when you get down to like the 15 milliliters or less, that just doesn't feel like enough ink. Not that I am in any danger of using up any of my ink. Okay, next up we have KSLV2. Oh my goodness. Is that going to focus? Come on, camera. It just doesn't want to focus. No. Oh, that's better. Okay, and it does look like some Chinese characters, so I'm wondering if the KSLV2 is a Chinese rocket. I don't know about other places, but I know in America, when we think of space, we think of NASA, because NASA is our space program. But there are space programs in other countries, and I'm always interested to know what they're up to. Okay, so this is Colorverse KSLV2. Space exploration is so expensive and so dangerous that it makes sense for different countries to collaborate. So I'm glad we're collaborating with the International Space Station. And if you've seen The Martian or read the book The Martian, there is some international collaboration in that story, which is nice. Ooh, this is a lovely blue. I had a thought I was going somewhere with that, but now this beautiful blue has just stunned the words right out of my brain. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Blue pretty. That's what I was gonna say. Oh my goodness. Okay, he is not dripping. Not dripping, but wow, look at that color. It's so beautiful. Gosh, what was I gonna say? Something about, oh. I know what I was gonna say. One of my favorite authors is Neil Stephenson, and he writes science fiction, and he writes these gigantic doorstop size books, which I love. I love long books. And next up we have Ham 65. So Neil Stephenson wrote a book called 7 Eves, and it's about basically the end of the world. The moon explodes, no one can explain why, and there is an international collaboration between countries to try to save humanity. What is this? Ham 65. Ooh, I think I'm going to like this one. So I just thought that was so wonderful that in this book of this, you know, what's the word I'm trying to think of an astrological catastrophe, that we are collaborating with each other. It's not one country trying to save itself, it's all the countries trying to save humanity. So it's a really good book. If you're interested in science fiction at all, you should definitely check it out. But one thing I love about science fiction is just how the authors use it to comment on humanity. You know, it's about space and technology and, you know, aliens, whatever. But really, I have found that most science fiction is about humans, humanity. And this book is no different. I mean, imagine the Earth is about to die, and every country is desperately trying to send people up into space to live in the International Space Station. And then you've got all these humans packed into a sardine can. That cannot be good. Alright, here is Saturn V. I know that's the name of a rocket. That's about all I know. I live in an area that has a NASA site, NASA Langley, and I really don't know what they do over there. They have wind tunnels and they're testing things. I remember when I was a kid, we would go to visit my uncle, and my mom would always drive by the wind tunnels, because, oh, I'm talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. Saturn V. She always wanted to drive by the wind tunnels because, you know, they are enormous, impressive structures. And that's, I guess that was where they would test new airplanes and things. So, interesting place. Mysterious place. And speaking of science, we also have a place here called Jefferson Lab. And it used to be called CBAF, and CBAF stands for Controlled Electron Beam Acceleration Facility. And I think CBAF was a very descriptive name for the place, because that's exactly what they did there. They had a controlled electron beam, and they were accelerating it. You know, it's a particle accelerator. But, I don't know, a few years ago, actually quite a few years ago, they changed the name to Jefferson Lab. So, I guess that sounds more, I don't know. It sounds more something, who knows. Now that is a very nice blue, and I don't want to hear anybody say it looks just like one of the other blues that I swatched. But we'll see after they dry. They might look different once they're dried. And I can't tell if that is shading on the letters or if the glass nib just wasn't saturated well enough, because it's hard to get the ink on the nib in this tiny little bottle. So we'll see. But anyway, I've been over to Jefferson Lab, and it's an amazing place. And they do cool stuff over there too. Next we have Spirit. It's a non-blue ink. Can you believe it? Yay! And I have a big bottle of Schrodinger, which is also green. I don't have the swatch card handy, but it would be interesting to see how similar they are to each other. So this is Colorverse Spirit. So I don't know how active our NASA Langley site is here with other things that are going on with NASA, like with the current Mars mission and stuff like that. But I do remember they launched a rocket here, I guess about a year ago. The eastern shore is not far from here. The eastern shore of Virginia and Maryland. We, the two states share the eastern shore. But there's a, oh, I just closed that up because I'm talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. But there's a launch pad over there on the eastern shore. It's called Wallops Island, and that's a place where they launch rockets. So, gosh, what was it? What was I watching? You know, I think I was watching, I'm embarrassed to say this, I was watching an episode of Jaywalking, Jay Leno's Jaywalking. I think it was the Jaywalking All-Stars, and he was asking for the name of a place where NASA launches rockets, and one of them said Virginia, and I was like, yes, Virginia has a launch site. But of course that wasn't what he was going for. He was looking for like Cape Canaveral, you know, one of the big ones. But even though our launch pad is small, it can still launch stuff. Small but mighty. Ooh, well, that is a nice bright green. And no drips. Let me see. Did I mention that my work area is getting cluttered? I have all this stuff over here. So pardon me while I shift a few things. I have to make room for all of my cards so they can dry in a nice flat manner. Okay, where was I? I've been, well, I shouldn't say I have been, I am starting to read Dune by Frank Herbert. I'm a big science fiction fan, but I haven't read the greats of science fiction. I only just started reading Isaac Asimov. I read I, Robot, which was really good. And now my book club is reading Dune, which I'm really excited about, but I've just never read it before. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just yakking away. This is Morning Star. Morning Star. Ooh, somebody's got a stinky motor outside. What are the dangers of having your windows open? You can smell everything that your neighbors are up to. So yes, when you're cooking on the grill, your neighbors know it. Oh, so we've got two kind of greenish inks in a row here. Although I suppose this one's a bit more tealish. Ooh, he is nice and bright. I saw on a Gadget Stop 321 site, she had an ink called Pale Blue Dot. And I've just been dying to get my hands on that ink, but I don't think it's available in these little bottles. Well, look at him. He is just being stubborn. He wants to run, but he just won't do it. Stubborn ink. He's trying to run. They both are. Oh, well. But yeah, I think Pale Blue Dot is only available in their, it's like a 4-bottle anniversary set. Forgive me for not having all of the information, but if you're interested, I can link to those inks below. But I'm just fascinated by that color, and I'm wondering if Morning Star is kind of close to that, because Pale Blue Dot does not look like a pale blue to me. It seems very turquoisey. This is Warped Passages. If I can get this to focus. Come on, honey. There we go. Cool. Yes, also a big day to ride motorcycles. A lot of motorcyclists around here. I suppose there's a lot of motorcyclists everywhere because it's become so popular. Colorverse. And again, I'm seeing shading, and is that because the ink is a shader or because my glass nib is not properly saturated? I don't know. It's very nice though. But you will notice this is another blue ink. And I am not unhappy about that at all. Wow, they do have a lot of blue inks. And that's a good thing. Actually, let's look at our little card here. Ooh, look at all them blues. Seems like kind of a dark palette. There's a few bright spots, but lots of darker inks. Wow, look at all of those. Those are pretty dark. I don't mind that though. I don't mind the dark, rich inks. And of course, there are quite a few Colorverse inks that I absolutely love. I mean, Supernova. That is one of my all-time favorites. It is so beautiful. I've been using it in a little Wingsung 3013, which is a vacuum filler that's supposed to be a copy of a of a TWSBI VAC 700, and it has an extra fine nib, and I am not a fan of really fine nibs, but even as fine as it is such a joy to write with, and that ink looks so gorgeous. I would like to see it in a broader nib though. Gosh, ain't nobody dripping. Come on, y'all. Not that they have to drip, it's just fun when they do. Ooh, well, it's not dripping, but it's kind of spreading out, so that's weird. Okay, who's next? And you probably know, oh, here is Extra Dimension. And I have to say, I ordered these inks, gosh, I don't know, a month or two ago. And at the time I was ordering them, they didn't have a bunch of the ones I wanted to get, which was, well, now I can't remember. It's one that Amanda B talks about all the time. It's kind of a gray. Shoot. Oh, matter? Is it matter? It's matter and antimatter, right? So I think it's the matter that I was intrigued by after seeing her write with it. But of course, everybody was sold out, and I haven't ordered anything for a while, so they might be restocked at this point. Let me see. This is Colorverse. Oh wow, this is super dark. Extra Dimension. And speaking of ordering inks, I just have to tell you, I saw on Sarah Katie's channel that her Troublemaker inks have arrived. Oh my gosh. When I said they were paddling my inks across the ocean on a raft, I was not kidding. I have gotten another email from them saying that my inks have shipped. Okay, so I ordered them in February. I got an email in March saying that they had shipped, and now I have gotten another email in April saying that they have shipped. I think they're just messing with me. I don't think they're ever gonna actually send me any ink. It's all a ruse. Ooh, look at that ink. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that is so rich and beautiful. Whew. And he's a dripping, but he's so dark you can't even see the drip. Wow, look at that. That is gorgeous. Yes, I have really gotten into darker blues in the last year or so. That is so beautiful. I can't wait to see what that looks like when it dries. So, if my Troublemaker inks ever show up, you will hear the scream heard around the world because I will be so shocked and amazed that they have arrived. And the problem is, it's a German retailer, and their correspondence is in German, and I've been translating it with Google Translate, but even so, it's just difficult to understand what's happening. So I really feel for all the people out there that are trying to do business with American companies or any English-speaking company when they don't speak English or English is not their first language. Oh, I have just been yakking away. I didn't tell you what this was. This is Einstein Ring. Ooh. Now it's looking very dark, like a dark berry on the label, but in person it's looking like a much brighter pink. Einstein Ring. Very interesting. So yes, all of you who try to communicate in another language, kudos to you. Ooh. Well, that is a much different color than I was expecting. It's very bright. I thought it was going to be much darker. Well, we got a little extra blob there. That'll just give it some character. Gosh, I always think of Colorverse inks as very flowy, but most of these are just not wanting to drip. And again, I have no idea what the drip means or doesn't mean. It's just really fun to do. Okay, and the last one of our minis is Lortex Motion. This was the closest thing I could find to matter. So I did want to try something in that range. But since all the inks are different, that probably wasn't a very good idea of mine. Ooh, it's looking kind of red. Interesting. Colorverse. Vortex Motion. I don't think you can see the lip of the bottle, but the lip of the bottle definitely looks red. Oh yeah, you can see that. Look at it. It's red. But on the paper, it's looking really black. Okay, I'm intrigued. Gosh, what was another ink that I saw recently? It was Tono and Limbs. And it was just changing all different kinds of colors on the paper. Oh my goodness, it's like maroon underneath and black on top. That is crazy. And we're getting a big old drip. Wow, look at that. It's like red and gray. That is wild looking, but the writing looks gray. Very interesting. So we'll see how that dries. And for my final Colorverse ink, we have Stars and Stripes, the non-glistening version, because you know me. And I have to tell you, hopefully by the time you see this video, my other 30 Inks 30 Days videos will be up, but who knows. But I was getting low on choices of noodlers, so I went over to the Norfolk Stationery to buy myself a few more noodlers inks. And they had this one. Did they have it on sale? They always seem to have really good prices over there. I don't know. So I love shopping there because I love a bargain. But I just couldn't resist. And I've been wanting to try this ink for a while. So I was very excited to get it. It's so beautiful. So hopefully you will be able to see my other videos with the Noodlers inks that I recently purchased at the Norfolk Stationery. Oh, let me tell you, maybe I just need to do a, like a big roundup video, like a review of the month or something. Maybe I'll be able to get that uploaded. Who knows? Who knows? It's a conspiracy, I'm telling you. The internet is out to get me. Ooh, well that is much lighter than I was expecting. And it's feeling a little bit drier. Wow. Not a drip in sight. Very interesting. I'll be very interested to see how this dries. Okay, so that is all for the Colorverse inks. And now we are moving on to our Birmingham inks. So I think I told this, I told the story in the video where I unboxed these, but let me see. I ordered these two, which is Electron and Fountain Turquoise, but I only got one of them, and right now I don't remember which one I got. And then I got this one, which is Boiler Steam. So I got one of the inks I ordered, and then this one, which I did not order. So I contacted Birmingham and said, hey, I got the wrong ink. Can I send this one back to you and swap it for the one that I ordered? And they were so nice, and they said, no, 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 just keep that one, and we will send you the one that you were supposed to get. Sorry, tea break. And that just really surprised me. I mean, it was a very unexpected, generous thing for them to do. Because I'm perfectly happy to send stuff back to people, you know. If I ever have to, like, send excuse me, I can't talk. Send something back to Amazon or somebody. Gosh, I hate returning stuff in person. I mean, I absolutely despise it. But returning stuff online is not so bad. I guess I'm afraid that the customer service people are always going to yell at me, so I don't want to go to the customer service desk. Oh my goodness, I can't get this bottle open. Whew. Again, he's been sitting in the box for a few months, so he's stuck on there pretty good. Okay, so this is Boiler Steam. Here is Mr. Boiler Steam, if you can see that. And this is a blue-black Birmingham, and ooh, it is flowing right off of this glass nib. Birmingham pen. And this is Boiler Steam. I don't have a whole lot of experience with Birmingham inks, but I get the impression that they're very flowy. And ooh, my glass nib doesn't want to clean off. So I wonder if that means that this ink might have a little permanence. I've seen other people's videos about this ink, but right now I can't remember what they said about it, if it had some water resistance. So, ooh, isn't that nice? It's like a dark teal. Very pretty. And I see a little bit of, ooh, and it just ran right down the card. I see a little bit of shine on the lip of the bottle. So I don't know if this will pick up, oh, yep. See that pink shine? So I think this is going to be a nice sheener. But we'll see when it dries. Very pretty. Ooh, I'm not supposed to show the cards till the end. I just got a little excited. All right, and next up we have Electron. And I ordered these, I mean, I ordered them last summer, so it was right when they were coming out with their new inks. And I think they might have only had 3 or 4 at the time. Oh, this one's stuck too. Alrighty. So yeah, anyway, I thought that Electron and Turquoise would be the ones that I would like the best, so those were the ones that I ordered. Ooh, whoa, I got way too much ink on there. Oh no. Okay. And if my camera will focus. Please excuse any times that the camera is not in focus. Birmingham. Again, it is very flowy. Electron. That is very nice. Okay. I think we're getting a little low on Q-tips here. Woo. Oh wow, that is super bright. You know, I suppose now would be the appropriate time to talk about Jefferson Lab. Not when I was doing the Colorverse ink, but when I'm talking about, or when I'm swatching the ink called Electron. Because Jefferson Lab is where they accelerate electrons. Gosh, do they only accelerate electrons, or do they accelerate other things too? Probably other things. Wow, that is so pretty. I feel like I might have told you guys this before, but I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he said his son was working on his thesis, and his thesis is about, I know I'm going to mess this up because I'm not a scientist, but he was studying the way that electrons or particles, I can't remember, the way particles react when they get close to absolute zero. Now, absolute zero is on the Kelvin scale. It's 0 on the Kelvin scale. And I forget what the Fahrenheit and Celsius equivalent is. I think the Fahrenheit equivalent is like -300 degrees or something like that. So it's really difficult. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I'm yakking again, and I'm not talking about the ink. This is the Fountain Turquoise. Now I've forgotten what I was talking about. Birmingham pen. That might be a good thing. This is, can I fit this on one line? Fountain Turquoise. Ooh, and my fingers are getting all inky, which is half the fun. But yeah, anyway, his son was studying the behavior of particles as they approached absolute zero. And I don't think anyone has ever reached absolute zero, so maybe absolute zero is like a theoretical state. But anyway, apparently the particles started acting in crazy ways the colder they got. Yeah, I would act pretty crazy too if I was like -300 degrees. I don't like being cold. Of course, I don't like being hot either. I'm a middle of the road kind of person. So spring and fall, my favorite seasons, because they're kind of middle of the road. Although I have to say, here in Virginia, we did not have much of a winter. We have not been having much of a winter the past few winters. We have a few cold days, but not that much. And yeah, summers are just insanely hot. I don't enjoy summer. I mean, pretty much all we do is hide in the air conditioning. Okay, so finally, I have these newest Birmingham inks that I purchased, and these are the Rich formula. And there was one of the Rich formula that I wanted to order, but they were out of it. So, oh, I was going to tell you. This is what the packaging looks like. The Birmingham Pen Company. And this ink, I feel like I'm all over the place. They have these little 30 milliliter bottles, and then they have 60 milliliter bottles, which are twice as big, of course. And then they have this much bigger bottle that's won't even fit on the screen. It's 120 milliliters. So when I made this purchase, I decided to get the medium size, the 60 milliliters, instead of the 30. I don't know why. But this ink was not available in the 60. So my choice was to either get the 30 or get the 120, and for some unknown reason, I decided to get the 120. Why? This is like my bottle of Heart of Darkness, which I am never ever going to get through, so I am never ever going to get through this bottle either. But I did want to show you a trick. I've shown this on my channel before, but in case you've missed it, you know how sometimes when you're trying to get the boxes open and you end up tearing the box right there? I saw a trick on Inky Rock's channel. She went to an ink, it was like an ink showcase or something like that. And the staff that were working there were opening up bottles of ink, and they took something flat. This is my trusty letter opener. And you slide something flat under the lid, and then you bring it up to the edge where the corner is, and you can just pop the corner out without tearing it. So that's how I open all my bottles now, and I don't tear my boxes, which is very nice because I hate torn boxes. I have a few where I've just, you know, I've ripped this piece off completely, which I hate. Okay, so this is alternating current. No, I'm sorry. It's Tesla Coil. The whole name is alternating current Tesla Coil, but its short name is Tesla Coil. And then there was another one. I'm confusing myself here. There was one that was out. Okay, so this one, this is the traditional formula, Ice Rink. And then the Voltaic Arc, Ultramarine, and Tesla Coil are the rich formula. And there was one other one that was a greenish ink, and now I can't remember the name of it, and they were completely out of that one. So I got this one instead of those. But I've had my eye on Ice Rink for a while because it's so pretty. But I'm really interested in trying these rich formulas. Okay, so first up we have Ice Rink. So this is, whoo, it is super wet. Birmingham Pen, Ice Rink. Whew. Wet, wet, wet. I think I might need to get some clean water. I don't know. Hold on, water. We're almost done. Ooh, that's much lighter than I was expecting. It's interesting how the writing with the nib and the swatching with the Q-tip don't always compare. Of course, the glass nib does write very wetly. Ooh, and he ran right down too. That's very nice. Right, now this is the first of the rich formula, and this is Voltaic Arc. If my camera will focus. I don't know, I think the sunshine must be stunning my camera because it does not want to focus today. I love their names. They're so interesting. They're like Colorverse. Colorverse has really interesting names, and so does Birmingham. Voltaic Arc. And I don't know anything about electricity, so I don't know what a Voltaic Arc is referring to, but it sounds dangerous. I'm sure it's not something I would want to be caught in. Ooh, and I see some sheen on the lip of the bottle. Ooh. Well, yeah, this is the rich formula, which is supposed to be very sheeny. So we'll see how sheeny it is. Wow, it's very wet, very wet. And it says on the bottle that these might take longer to dry. And I could totally see that because this is super duper wet. but I can already see the sheen coming out on the writing. Can you see that? A little bit? Yeah, a little bit. My sunlight is not terribly bright, but yeah, you can see the sheen on the lip of the bottle too. So fun, fun, fun. All right, then we have Ultramarine, which I think is kind of purpley. Whoa, too much ink. Okay, oh my goodness, wet, wet, wet. Birmingham pen, and this is Ultramarine. I haven't looked into the meaning of the name Ultramarine, but most of the inks that have that name are purpley. And I would think marine, you know, I kind of think of marine green like a turquoise or a blue or something. So, I guess if it's purple, it's sort of blue. Ooh, my glass nib is getting a lot of fuzz on it. Let me see. Q-tip, Q-tip, Q-tip. All right. Woo, and this one is really wet too. So I'm wondering what kind of pen. Oh, he's not dripping. I wonder what kind of pen I would like to put this in. Probably something with a fine nib, since it's so wet. Oh, that sounds like somebody driving by with their dog hanging out the window. Because dogs do enjoy doing that, and they do enjoy barking at things as they go by. All right. Last but not least, we have Tesla Coil. My gallon-sized bottle of Tesla Coil. And this has a dropper, just like Heart of Darkness does. So that's very interesting. I kind of want to just make a drop and see what that looks like. Ooh, very wet, very wet. Okay, this is Birmingham pen, and this is Tesla Coil. Ooh, and again, my nib does not seem to want to wash clean. But since this is our last ink, I am not going to get fresh water at this point. Okay, so I'm going to close my pen up because we are all done with him. And Mr. Q-tip, I can get him down in the bottle without spilling anything. Ooh, he's trying to drip. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is such a pretty blue, but I think it's going to have a ton of sheen on top of it, which means we won't be able to see the pretty blue that much. And that's one thing I don't like about the heavy sheeners. It covers up the original color of the ink. I can see the sheen on the writing already. Can we see that? And this blob right there, that is never going to dry. I mean, that is never going to dry. Okay, well, I am going to let these guys dry for a couple of days. And I'll be back in a bit to see what they look like. And I'm going to try to get some of this ink off my hand. My goodness. All right, so I will see you in a bit. All right, my neighbor's dog has decided to bark, which she likes to do all the time, so hopefully this won't distract us too much. And my sunlight doesn't seem to be cooperating either, but anyway, let's see what we've got here. So this is Colorverse Mariner 4. It's a lovely kind of, I guess this is a blurple. It's definitely a bluish purple, and it does have some kind of bronzy sheen. Very pretty. I'm still not sure about the shading on the letters, if that was the glass nib or if this is a nice shader. So definitely need to get that one in a pen. And I don't think I'm going to be able to fit all of these cards in, so we'll do the best we can. Here is the KSLV2. I'm just wondering about that name. I wonder if that's Roman numerals. I don't know. Anyway, it looks like it's got some sheen to it, and I see a little bit of sheen on the swatch as well. But I don't see a lot of sheen on the writing. I do see some shading though. So, yes, they're similar but not the same. This one's definitely more purple, this one's more blue. Here is Ham 65, more of a teal, some red sheen. And again, I'm not sure if that shading is the glass nib or the ink. So something to be explored. Here is Saturn V. A nice dark blue. It looks like it's trying to sheen a little bit. And it might have some shading going on there. It's hard to tell. And yeah, they're kind of similar. What can I say? The KSLV2 is definitely more sheeny, and the Saturn V is a bit darker, but they're very similar. That's why you get samples before you buy a big bottle. Here is Colorverse Spirit, a bright green. It does have a hint of some red sheen. Can we get that to show on the camera? No, but I can see it in person. Definitely some red sheen going on, and maybe a hint of shading. Here is Warped Passages, a nice blue. Might have a little bit of shading. Might be a hint of sheen, but not too much. Again, he's going along with our blues here, very similar. And here is Extra Dimension. Very dark blue-black, lots of red sheen. This seemed like a very wet ink. And it might have a hint of shading, but again, on the darker inks sometimes it's harder to tell. But that one's very pretty. Here is Einstein Ring, a much brighter pink than I thought. I thought this was going to be more like a dark berry color, but it's a very bright color. And I think there's some gold sheen going on. Yeah, we can see that. Huh. But I don't see any sheen on the writing. Just a hint of some gold sheen there. Interesting. Here is Morning Star. My goodness, this one's still wet. He's still drying. These have been drying for a good while, so they should all be dry at this point. But he's got some reddish sheen going on there around the wet area. Definitely a bright turquoise. And here is Colorverse Vortex Motion. Now this one looked red when it went on wet. Now it does not look red. It looks, I mean, the red is gone. It looks very gray, but it does have some green sheen. So this is a strange one. Very interesting. I'd still like to get my hands on some of the matter, because I thought that was very interesting looking too. And finally, for our Colorverse inks, here is Stars and Stripes. Now, I just did an unboxing of the Ink Journal inks, and this was one of their April mystery inks. And I've had my eye on this ink for a while. I was very excited to get it in the box, and it was kind of an impulse purchase when I saw it over at the Norfolk Stationery, but I couldn't resist. It's just so pretty. Has some nice pink sheen. Very pretty ink. Okay. So I think for the Birmingham inks, I'm going to have to move these guys up so there'll be room for everybody. Well, you know, you can't see the top row anymore, but that's okay. Right here is Ice Rink. A nice bright blue. Lots of red sheen. This was a very wet ink. All the Birmingham inks were very wet. But I don't see any sheen on the writing. This is the regular formula ink, and the next ones are the rich formula. Here is, oh no, I'm sorry, what am I talking about? Oh, I'm just confusing myself. So okay, so yes, this was a regular formula ink, and then I had 3 other regular formula inks that I purchased last year. So let's do all of those. Here is Fountain Pen Turquoise, and he is also still drying a bit, and also has some red sheen, and oh my goodness, these guys are almost identical. Oh my goodness. Seriously, look at this. If I covered up the writing, I'm trying not to get my ink in the wet spot, they're like exactly the same. I mean, right down to the fact that they didn't drip, they're still drying, they've got some red sheen. Oh my goodness. Well. Okay, so if you like Colorverse Morning Star, and it's a little bit too expensive for you, just get a bottle of Birmingham Pen Fountain Turquoise, because they're the same. Now that doesn't mean they write the same, because I haven't had these in a pen. And this Colorverse does look like it has some shading. I don't know about the Birmingham. That is such a wet ink. I don't know if that would be a good shader or not, but color-wise, I would say they're identical. Wow. I've had inks come close before, but I don't know, some of the Sailor inks, I mean, Sailor has put out different inks. I mean, it's like making duplicates of its own inks, if that makes sense. It's like they're just rebottling the same inks over and over again. And fool me, I still buy them. I just keep buying ink. Oh, it's a problem. All right, here is Birmingham Pen Boiler Steam. This is the one that I got accidentally, but I think it's beautiful. It's a lovely dark teal. It's kind of a blue-black, but I would say it's more teal than blue-black, if that makes sense. Blue-blacks to me are dark blue with like a hint of gray, and this one has more of a green tone, and it's got all that nice red sheen. But again, I don't see any sheen on the writing. And finally, for our regular formula inks is Electron, which is a nice bright blue, and some bright pink sheen on there. Very pretty. I see a hint of shading. Okay, I got some more inks to put up here, so Colorverse, y'all are just gonna have to move. But some of these guys are still drying, so I'm trying to be careful. Oh my goodness. Ink, ink, ink. Scoot, scoot. Let's see. This is just a big old mess. A mess of ink. That's what I have. I have a mess of ink. How much is a mess? This much. Okay, so these are the rich formula inks that are supposed to be sheeny, wet and sheeny. So here is Voltaic Arc, and this was also kind of a dark blue-black color, but crazy red sheen. And where is Boiler Steam? It's definitely darker and bluer than Boiler Steam. So I would say this is a blue-black with lots of red sheen. And this I would say is a dark teal with some pink sheen. Pink, pink, red. It's hard for me to tell what color the sheens are, you know? They're very similar. Now, is that red or pink? I don't know. Anyway, it's got some sheen. And I do see sheen on the writing. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera very well. Of course, this is distracting us from the sheen, but yeah, you can kind of see that sheen on the letters. Of course, the sheen on the swatch is glowing. All right, y'all, scoot, 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 scoot. I know somebody's going to get into a wet puddle, but that's okay. We all get inky fingers around here, even the swatch cards. All right, here is Ultramarine. This is a kind of a dark blurple. Again, that Ultramarine is that purpley color with lots of pink sheen. And again, I'm seeing some sheen on the writing. I think the Voltaic Arc had more sheen on the writing, but this is definitely a sheener. Beautiful dark blue, purpley blue. More purple than Stars and Stripes. And goodness, is this our last ink? Oh, I think this is our last ink. Tesla Coil. Again, he is a blue with some pink sheen, lots of sheen. And again, I can see the sheen on the letters, definitely. So these should be fun to write with. I need to get out my Organic Studio and see how these compare with that. So blue, purple, blue, black. Interesting. Well, a lot of fun inks today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you were able to view this video. Please, what am I even trying to say? I don't know. My brain has left my head. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you for joining me. I appreciate all of your likes and comments, and I appreciate all the people that have subscribed, and I hope to be around for a long time to come. The internet has not beaten me yet. I might end up taking some of these videos to work and see if I can get them to upload on our work Wi-Fi. But anyway, thank you for bearing with me. Hang in there. Videos are coming. I promise. So hopefully I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.